This episode of the podcast is brought to you by our partner, Audible.
Yes, it is. So we are partnered with Audible. That means that if you are looking just to check it out, you don't want to put your card in and just take the dive. You can get 30 days for free on us. If you go to audibletrial.com/JATG or click the link down below, you'll be taken there. You can sign up for 30 days for free and just test it out. Like there's a lot of stuff on there that you can get for free, a lot of Audible exclusives. But what I really like about Audible is that out of the hundreds and thousands of audiobooks that they have, if you decide to purchase something, that is yours forever. Like if you decide not to carry on your subscription or you want to take a break or whatever it is, you can always go back and listen to that book whenever you want through the app on the internet. Doesn't matter because it's yours. So once again, you can get that for 30 days for free on us if you go to audibletrial.com/JATG.
There we go.
Now we're being live streamed.
Yes, we are being live streamed. Welcome, boys and girls. Johnny and the Greg is streaming live into your Facebook. Please do your usual due diligence and share, like, subscribe. I know a lot of you guys don't hit the like button. I know a lot of you guys don't share. I'm not talking specifically to you, Marshall, because I know you do, but I mean all those other people, because we have quite a lot of people that actually have started watching us, but nobody hits the like button. That helps us. Just, I'm asking for 5 seconds, guys. 5 seconds. Just beep.
Don't
beep,
call out the fans like that,
beep,
man.
Beep. I am going to call them out. We got to do it, man. We got to get the AI overlords to, accept us, put us on the stream, put us on the What's Trending stream. Anyway, welcome to the show. Good to be back. I'm busy lately, so I couldn't jump on the podcast last week. I expect all of this to end before Thanksgiving. Yes. Yeah. So, how you been? How you be, Greg?
Not bad.
Not bad, but not good. Not well.
Yeah.
Well, let's just
week.
Okay. Let's jump a little bit onto what we started talking during the pregame here. I noticed that Greg's beard was getting thick. It was getting
full. A little bit of a story behind that too.
Yeah. So. And of course, Greg wants to, grow it where he has trouble growing it.
I would like it to come up in here a little bit more. And it's never, I'm totally off my mic here. There's not a lot here. And like in the middle part, like the soul patch, so to speak.
Yeah.
For some reason is like a light brown, almost red. So it doesn't show up on camera very well. So I just look like I got nothing there, which makes it look very, as you said, Amish. And that's not the look I'm going for.
So just to recap, folks, Greg has hair there. You just can't see it.
Yeah.
On camera.
Sure.
Greg, if you'd like to, I could give you your address so people could come and see it.
No, that's
okay.
Good.
No,
I don't need.
Just putting that out there. Didn't know if you'd like that or not.
Really don't need that. It's like swatting me. Don't do that.
All right. So Greg loves you, but he doesn't love you that much.
And most of the people that are watching us right now, they know where I live anyway. So you don't need to put it out there.
Yeah. All right. So that brought up my weird mind into just try to be funny guy at the moment and say, well, why don't you put some, bull semen on it? It'll promote growth, just being a smart ass. And then I started thinking, God, that job is interesting. Like actually having to ejaculate a horse or a bull.
Yeah.
And not just let nature take its course. Like they don't let nature take its course anymore, do they? They actually like package it and then insert it.
Right. Yeah.
And how do you know that, Greg?
So I used to hold on a second. I'm having a technical difficulty real quick that I need to
All right. Sounds good. Is AI pissed off already?
No,
No.
Google Chrome is pissed off.
Ah, okay. So we
Never
have
know.
AI companion on our Zoom, so we want to see what that has to do. I think Greg knows what it's going to have to do. I tend to think it's like they're
Yeah,
watching us.
you think it's watching us. I
Yes.
think it's just going to help me later on when I got to type in the description for the show.
It's
Um,
hooked up to Skynet.
so the thing that I worked with a guy years ago, and that was his wife's job, was to collect bull semen,
Okay.
and then
So
then
bull,
to
not horse, bull.
correct bull,
Okay.
and then to inseminate cattle like that. I found out, like, in
Yes.
where I used to live in Watertown, Wisconsin, one of the world's leading like bovine genetics centers is there, and it looks like a little shack with a barn behind it, but they said it's the best collection, it's the best process, like whatever it is that goes into that science, they were some of the best in the world. So the guy was like, yeah. I'm like, well, how does she do that? He's like, well, they put on a giant like rubber glove that goes up to your shoulder, and then she has a syringe and she goes right in there and squeezes the syringe in there and
That's
then
to
pulls it up.
impregnate the female.
Yeah, to impregnate.
Okay.
So, and then for the bull part,
Yeah.
um, I was like, is it just like by hand? He goes, no, they have a machine that does it now. But
Yeah.
he's
But
like, but yeah,
now
yeah,
there was a
in
time
there was a time that like maybe they do that when you're in college. You're like, well, we're gonna teach you to do it by hand first, and then
in case the
and then
machine breaks.
yeah, and then there's some guy going, isn't there a machine for this? And they're like, well, you can't guarantee where you're gonna work is gonna have a machine that's gonna do it.
I can
And
totally see the professor
yeah,
right now. It's sounding like that, Greg.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
okay. So I guess my question to that is maybe you know, maybe you don't know. And if anybody out there knows, all comments welcome. So please do that on our chat. Um, why do you need that? Why can't a bull and is a female bull a cow, right? Right?
what a heifer.
A heifer. Okay.
Yeah.
So why can't a bull and
Um,
a heifer go into the side of the or go into the barn and just let
well,
nature take its course?
and I think that could be a way if you're local enough.
Mm-hmm.
But this place is like shipping international.
Okay. Oh, okay. Makes
So
sense.
they're just like, here's the collection, and then they ship it off to wherever it needs to go.
Do you know how much that pays?
She was running the place, so I and the guy was a special ed teacher and was driving a much better car and living in a much better house than I was. So I'm gonna guess it.
Well, you were
Yeah,
guessing.
I'm gonna or better than what I was, which isn't very much,
All
but
right.
still.
All right. Look, I
Yeah.
understand the point of it. I mean, if we're all taking the kidding aside, I understand the point of it. I guess, yeah, if you're right, if I have a heifer in Montana and I hear
Mhm.
the best bull is in Wisconsin, then I
Yep.
guess that's going to have to happen. I understand. Okay.
There was an episode, Larry the Cable Guy. Remember him, the stand-up
Yeah.
comedian, voice
Yeah.
of Mater from Cars. He had a show where he was just like traveling around America and doing stuff. I don't remember what the show was called, but he did that. Like they brought him to a place that, and maybe it was in Wisconsin because he had a show in Wisconsin. Um, they took him to a place where they're like, "Here's what you're gonna do," and he had to inseminate a cow. And
Isn't
yeah,
that a Dirty Jobs too? Wasn't that a Mike Rowe
it
Dirty
could have been,
Jobs thing?
it could have been. Um,
Because I can see that.
took him to a place where they're like, here's what you're gonna do, and he had to inseminate. Okay, mute that. I don't want to hear my own.
Yeah, isn't that a Dirty Jobs too? Sorry. Wasn't that a Mike Rowe? I don't
It's
know why
still-
it's still on.
Stop it, John. Your word is full of fun stuff tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, we're all crazy. All right. Greg, did you watch
Yeah.
Loki?
Yeah,
Did you watch all of Loki?
Sure did.
Okay, not to spoil it. I thought it was
Okay.
damn good. What are your thoughts?
It was amazing. Like,
Thank you. Yes.
Like it was the exact ending. I think that for any Marvel character so far,
Yeah.
that's the best ending. Like that was the sign off of a character. If there has been other sign offs,
Right.
I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too. and it deals with time travel and things of that nature. And what's funny is Ursula loves it, and she can't follow. She had a hard time following Back to the Future Part Two.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so when it comes to time travel stuff, she gets lost, and
Okay.
for some reason, she knew exactly what was going on this whole time. So, so I think the fact that whoever wrote this,
Mm-hmm.
congratulations, you got my wife hooked on it. She loved it. She wants like a season three, and I'm like, I don't think they're gonna do that. It's kind of all sewn up. They sewed it
Yeah,
up.
no, they're done.
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston said this was the ending that he wanted as a character. So
Okay, so no more Loki.
no, he's busy holding the multiverse together. So
Okay. Well, you ruined it.
not really.
You sure?
No, I mean, I hope not.
But okay, all right.
I like the
Since you
full
already let the cat out
circle.
of the bag, I think that's perfect because I love it how they tied everything back to, like, if you were to rewatch it knowing what you know now, and he wants a throne and he has glorious purpose, he's
Yeah,
burdened with glorious purpose. It's like it all comes together. It's
it
perfect.
does. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
And I think they tied it back into a little bit of the original Norse mythology, even like the non-Marvel Norse mythology.
Okay.
Because uh at the end in the actual mythology, and there's many different mythologies where Loki ends up, things like that after Ragnarok and all that other things. He's chained to the roots of the world tree, which is Yggdrasil,
Right.
and the world serpent is torturing him by dripping poison into his eyes. That's how
Okay.
in the actual Norse mythology Loki ends up. And you can kind of see where they played with that a little bit.
Yep.
Um so I yeah, I thought it was a great ending. I think Tom Hiddleston should be nominated at least for an Emmy for his performance in that episode. And really kind of throughout the season. I think the first season I struggled with a little bit.
Oh, did you?
I did. Yeah. I mean, it was good, but at the same time, I'm like, where exactly are we headed with this? Are we just trying to introduce Kang? Is that it? Um, and the way they brought everything together in this second season, I was like, that was fantastic. Like there
Yeah.
wasn't a single episode I would have dropped.
I
So
agree. I agree. It was all very good. And in fact, there were certain ones where I thought, oh, I see where this is going. I don't think I think I'm going to be bored here, and I wasn't. So
yeah.
I thought they did a really good job. So excuse me. So if you guys have not seen Loki season one or season two, look,
Mhm.
uh, give definitely it's a watch. I know Marvel's going down a down slope right now. I know the Marvels came out and it did really bad. I haven't seen it. Did you see it?
I did. Yeah. By comparison to other Marvel films that did bad, I enjoyed it. Is it the
Okay.
best Marvel film? No.
Okay.
Um, the three main leads,
Yes.
Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau, who I'm just going to call Photon because that's her name in the comics.
Right.
Um, the three of them had amazing chemistry.
Oh, good.
Uh, uh, is it Mila? I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Kamala
Whoever's
Khan, the girl that plays
well,
Kamala Khan.
yeah, the girl who plays Kamala Khan.
Right.
She's adorable. I mean, just absolutely like embodying that character and the starstruckness that you have, and the kind of a little bit of the what happens when you eventually meet your heroes in
Yes.
in this particular film. And it was great. I
Yeah.
mean, the three of them really made it work. The villain and like the story arc,
The threat.
the threat reminds me a little bit of like it would have been like a 3 to 4 issue story arc in a comic in like the early 2000s or late 90s. Like it
Okay.
wasn't world breaking, like the good guys are gonna win, like they're you know but the consequences of what happens in the film and like the first cut or after credit scene
Yeah.
is huge. So um
Okay.
yeah, I walked away happy that I spent my money to go see it.
Okay. Great. That's
And that
awesome.
was and the whole family did too. They're like, nope, this was good.
Okay. So I think Okay, so I guess what I was trying to tell everybody out there that's not willing to go see these movies because you've been disappointed lately with
Yeah,
any
I wouldn't say that.
with most of the things after Endgame, there are some highlights, but most of them have been underwhelming. Sounds like Greg's saying go see the Marvels. Are they
Yeah.
picking back up? Are they revving back up, you think?
Um, yes. I
Okay.
would say that the trajectory that Marvel as a company is at
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
they're headed into some really big stuff. What they can't do is sit on anything for too long. Like they gotta get going.
Okay.
Box office over the weekend, domestic
Horrible. 45, right?
or global was 110 million.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not for a Marvel film. I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
but for
Yeah.
anything else, you know,
Yeah.
it's fine. I mean, it's going to depend on how what the staying power is. Like, will people go see it after they hear other people say, "Oh no, it's not bad," and then they'll go like, "Okay, well, I'll go check it out."
Yeah. I guess you're hearing it from Johnny and the Greg, guys, or
You know,
ladies and gentlemen, go see it.
if Gwen was a Captain Marvel fan, she should totally watch this film.
Okay.
Like, that's
She's not, but okay.
okay, but that would be it.
Yeah.
And they got Deadpool coming up next year.
Yep.
I mean that's going to be a big get
Yeah,
for
it
Marvel.
feels like they're ramping up.
The
It
multiverse
does.
thing, the things that we've been waiting for a
Yes.
long time
Yeah.
are starting to happen.
Yeah. I think so too. I think there have been some interesting things that I've heard, so I'm not going to say any of them because I don't know how it's going to go. I would like to see how they tie up Kang. I would like to see that.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that.
Yeah, I would
Um,
like to see them tie that up. I would like to see a situation down the line where a certain sorcerer is talking to a certain god that is, kind of holding on to all the strings of the universe, if you
oh
catch my
yeah,
drift.
yeah.
I'd like to see a situation like that. I think that'd be interesting, but we'll see where it goes. But yeah, so
I've
I
heard a
was happy
rumor
with
we were going to get a Fantastic Four casting report, but I don't
we are
think
tomorrow. That's the rumor.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's the rumor I heard.
I thought it was going to be over the weekend, but
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see.
Somebody scared me because I thought it was real. They said the casting is the four people from It's Always Sunny in Philly, and I was like, no, don't do this. But
No.
it's not. It's not. Anywho, so I sent something to you. You probably already knew about it, but I wanted to talk more about it with you. First and foremost, thank God, everybody, the actor strike is over. People
Mhm.
are going to start getting entertained again. So that's always good. Any thoughts on that, Greg? How you feel? How you
Happy it's over. I mean,
happy it's over? I agree.
what's gonna happen is like everybody's expecting, okay, back to work right now. It's like, no, I mean, there's still a bit of ramp up that needs to happen. I think some things that were already being made are going to be able to go back and be finished.
Right.
Um, the Beetlejuice sequel, Beetlejuice 2, I heard they had like a week left in photography when the
Oh,
strike
okay.
happened. So like they can jump back in
Yeah.
and like finish it up pretty quick, I would think. But other projects that like the Fantastic Four or things like that where like production stopped, writing stopped. So it's going to take a little bit for them to be
Rev it up again.
rev it up to get in front of the camera and start shooting stuff. So
Yeah.
hopefully they can get it done quick. Hopefully we'll get some movies in 2024 that weren't just pushbacks from 2023.
Right.
Um, because like there's not going to be a lot that's going to be ready to go
That's true.
without them cutting corners and rushing things, and that is going to be rough if that's the case. Like special effects departments are going to get slammed with work if they're going
Yeah.
to try to push these
Yeah.
things through,
That's
and
true.
they were already slammed.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, the actor strike is movies are going to start coming. I sent you James Gunn dropped when Superman is going to be released. For
Mm-hmm.
those of you that do not know, that is July 11th of 2025. And you said something, I forgot what you said back to me. What was your thought when I sent that to you?
Exactly what I just talked about. Like I hope
Oh, it's not rushed. That's right.
with that date. I mean, it's a roughly a year and a half
Yeah.
out. Um, which I think when you hear about big Marvel films or even with the DC films, it's usually like a 2 year process
Mm-hmm.
for I don't know how much they had already done before that writers and actors strike started.
Right.
James Gunn is writing it. So
Right.
to me, like, was he writing during the writer's strike because he's the director and the script writer?
I don't see why he wouldn't
So
be in the privacy of his own home.
yeah, I mean, and if that's the case, then you go, okay, I don't know how that fits with
Right.
some of the actor strike or writer strike people, but um, I just hope that they don't rush it. I hope that they don't cut those corners. I mean, because it's a Superman film, so it's one of those things where there's a lot of expectations. It's got to be top tier, or else the internet's going to lose its shit. So,
What they need to do, in my opinion, is make Superman cool again.
oh, absolutely,
Make him cool
yeah,
again. Make people like there's something about Spider-Man in any iteration that I've ever seen on screen or on cartoons. They always get it that it's kind of cool. Like
yeah,
he's cool. Um, yeah, speaking of that, my daughter's all about the Spider-Verse. So that's all she cares about.
okay.
Because you were saying like if she's into Marvel, she's not into Captain Marvel yet. She's into Spider-Verse stuff. Anyway,
Well, and that's a good point because um the Into the Spider Verse or the sequel for Multiverse of Men. No, what
no.
is it? The
And
Across the Spider Verse. It's
yeah, the
Across the
first
Spider
one's
Verse.
into the Spider-Verse, the second one's across it, right?
Yeah, Across the Spider
Yeah.
Verse. So whatever they're gonna call the third movie
Yes.
in that was supposed to come out in March,
Right.
but they didn't because the voice actors went on strike.
Right.
So are they gonna try to push that through and have it? I mean, I don't think they can make a March release date anymore.
No, I
But
think
are they gonna try
what's
to push
been
it to
good about
summer or
those
what's
is
gonna happen?
they've taken their time. I think that's what's good about those.
Mm-hmm.
They've actually really taken their time with the animation and getting it down and so but yeah, anyway, I don't think I think since we know James Gunn, I don't know all of every movie he's ever made, but I usually pay attention to the Marvel ones he's put out. I
Uh-huh.
never feel like he rushed one.
No, I don't think so.
So what I'm saying is, I guess in James Gunn, I trust in
In
terms of
James Gunn, we trust.
yeah, I don't feel he's gonna push it because there is so much riding on the first DC movie to come out that is a
Yeah.
James Gunn centric universe movie.
Right.
Like it's his big one.
Yep.
And it's going to set the tone for everything. And so I really think he understands the responsibility of that, and so I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's going to be rushed. So
He did a couple of podcasts right around the time all that got announced, and so the podcast people were like, "Where are you going with this? What are you going to do?" He's like, well, "Obviously, I can't divulge too much,"
yes,
but
you
he really he could have. He really divulged a lot of his love for the characters. I mean, it would be like if you and I were filmmakers and like that's the gravitas that he's bringing to
right.
this his entire position right now as head of DC
Yeah,
DC films. So yeah, I trust him. The whole Snyderverse and kind of this post Snyderverse stuff that we've been getting
yeah,
is it just smacks of corp or like film corporate executive meddling,
yeah. Absolutely
and which is why they haven't been good. So
correct. Correct. I agree.
so we'll see. I mean, I'm still hoping that Aquaman is at least decent. But there's so many rumors of that floating around now. That's like,
Yeah,
no one's gonna go see it. I mean, it's gonna
you're
be
right.
me or
You're right.
you.
You're right. Um, you just brought up an interesting thing I want to attack a little bit. You said it's like if you and me were like starting a film
Yeah.
franchise.
If we had Hollywood clout and
Yes.
made movies.
Right now, what I would like to do is create an entire Dungeons and Dragons universe. I would
Okay.
love to do that. I think that'd be fun.
It would be. I mean, they've got a cast of characters that, I mean, you could do Drizzt and
Yep.
his group of people.
Yeah.
Um, Dragonlance, you could do that and that group of people. I mean, there's a lot out there you could play with.
It's almost it's an infinite number.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I mean, and I'm just going based off of the novels and like the legendary characters that they created throughout the years.
Now that's funny. What you're doing with that, I'm going off of what we've created.
Yeah, like just having people, these are the characters we created, and
Yes.
here we go.
And then yeah, that's what I would do. But
it would be interesting, like Critical Role. They could make a movie out of
oh yeah, they absolutely
their
could.
like a live action movie out of their adventures.
Yep. Yep.
And I don't know, maybe that's in the works, but
I'm sure it's in the work. I'm sure if it's not in the works now,
it could be.
Yeah. I think what Marvel did when they did this whole thing, they opened up the doors to possibilities of 1,000 things. And I think so many people in the beginning were so rushed to do it that they didn't just take their time with it. Like the Dark Universe from Universal. God, they rushed into that so damn fast. And then they realized they didn't have directors, they didn't have writers, they didn't have
a plan.
Yeah.
And here's what no one else is doing, and now DC has finally caught on, is when Marvel did it, Kevin Feige was over the whole thing.
Yep.
Like it was his brainchild that someone just said, okay, you're going to be our guy.
Yep.
And like, even with the first Iron Man film, Feige was in there, even though it was John
Favreau
that got all the credit for Iron Man. Feige was in the background. He's like, well, here's what we want to do. He was kind of directing Favreau because he's like, we're eventually, if this hits, here's our progression.
Right.
And no one ever saw that until later, like they announced, Captain America, First Avenger and stuff like that. They're like,
yeah,
because they had like a czar over the whole thing that was controlling it. And DC didn't have that. They tried to do it with Schneider, but then that was your writer, director guy doing all of it. And then that didn't work. They should have had a czar in the background. He's like, no, I'm the producer. I'll move all the chess pieces around to make sure it connects.
I agree. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm still seeing stuff online about, the Save the Snyderverse people and all that. I'm like, guys, let it go.
You gotta let that go.
It's never happening. It's never coming back.
Or you know what? And even that, Snyder moved on. Snyder's on the Rebel Moon or something now. He's doing his own thing now.
He's on the. I was told I can make a Star Wars film, and then they took it away from me. So now I'm going to do it on my own. Cool, man. Yeah. That's what I want to see. And it really is what I want. Take these, directors or filmmakers, whatever. You got your own ideas. Go make them.
I agree with you.
You don't have to sign up for these existing,
who would even want that pressure? How much fun? Like, what? I don't know what Rebel Moon is. I don't know if it's based off a comic book, if it's based off a book,
it's totally
or if it's just him.
It is just him.
To me, there's nothing better than that. Then you don't have anything to structurally that you have to incorporate into your vision. It is just your vision. That's it.
I mean, I tell you, one of the best movies I've seen this year was The Creator that came out a couple months ago.
Yeah, I want to see that. You were talking
completely original intellectual property, and it was captivating. It was moving. I mean, and it is a self-contained film. Like if they do more films in that universe, I don't know why they would do that, but it was a great movie, a great piece of science fiction. You're like, that's what we need more of out of Hollywood right now, instead of everybody trying to create a franchise.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. You know what's strange, Greg?
What's that, John?
Johnny's Strange News. That's what's strange.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Oh, we're doing that. And it's a perfect time. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of this. I thought this was hilarious and it scared the shit out of me at the same time. So we're talking about AI. Do you know who else shares my like worry of AI? Our own president. Did you hear about this?
No.
President Biden apparently got scared of AI after watching the new Mission Impossible movie. Folks, keep him away from Terminator. Don't let him watch that movie. That'll scare the shit out of him. But I guess It's literally earlier this week, US President Joe Biden signed a sweeping executive order on artificial intelligence, setting up new directives to keep humanity safe from a number of dystopian doomsday scenarios. Can you do me a favor, Greg? Can you put on the Terminator 2 soundtrack while I read this article?
Sure, I could try.
And now to a recent PBS interview with Deputy White House Chief of Staff Bruce Reed, we've gotten a glimpse of what may have inspired the 80-year-old to sign the new order. According to Reed, Beaton caught up with the latest Hollywood action blockbuster Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 at the President's Camp David Country Retreat earlier this year. And against all odds, the grossly exaggerated depiction of AI seemed to have struck a nerve with the aging president. It's too late, Greg. I already done reading. You tried. I appreciate
Are
it.
we? Am I sharing my entire screen? I am.
You are. Yeah, don't worry about it. Anyway, I just thought that was hilarious that our president, instead of like, I don't know, talking to his
Cabinet, yeah.
Can you just imagine the president, right? Sitting at Camp David. He has his little cocoa. He's sitting there all snug as a bug watching this. And he goes, picks up the phone. Whoever his assistant is, can you get whoever's on the phone? Like, we got a problem here after watching Mission Impossible.
That is an issue.
Yeah, that is a big issue if our president is being carried away by a fictitious movie. So keep him away from every other AI movie because, like Eagle Eye, that's a scary one.
I see, and that's more likely than I think just robots
Right.
coming after us.
Taking over. Well, I just saw it on Instagram. I don't know how true it is, but it's that I think you've seen it. They have the robot slime that can like go into your body and like remove basically do surgery in you without opening you up. They would just inject slime and it would go. You haven't seen this?
I have not seen that.
Oh, I'll send it to you. I'm not gonna fiddle with it now, but I seen it and I was like, that's a little creepy too. That's weird. So, but anyway, I just thought that was funny. That's part of it. Did you hear the other strange news that I've looked up? This is kind of crazy too, and I think you'll know where I'm going with this when a Jeff Goldblum quote popped in my head after I heard this. At the Brookfield Zoo, okay, a female shark gave birth when she never met a male shark. That's right, Greg. Life found a way.
I guess.
Yeah.
Brookfield. Where's the Brookfield Zoo?
Illinois.
Okay.
So it says, for non-fans of the catchy tune of Baby Shark, that might sound like a dream. For real life, Mommy Shark in Illinois, it's reality. She produced a baby without a daddy shark. And
okay.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yes. That is crazy.
Yeah. You would almost say it's strange news, Greg. Brought to you by Johnny of TheGreg, streaming live on Facebook right now.
Did any scientific theories on how that happened?
Okay, well, there's a lot of big words, Greg, that you know I'm not skilled at.
That's very true.
There is the Paulette shark pup hatched this summer at Brookfield Zoo, just west of Chicago. Its mother had been in the zoo since 2019. In that time, she's never shared a tank with a male.
Okay.
It's a rare case of, here we go, Greg. Parthenogenesis.
Okay.
A type of asexual reproduction according to the zoo. So basically it's the whole thing from Jurassic Park. The females found a way. Yeah. They found a way. Beginning in 2022, the adult female shark began laying 2 to 4 typical infertile eggs each month. The zoo said in a news release, one of those eggs was fertile. The following a 5-month incubation, the pup hatched and has been behind the scenes being monitored by staff. That's fucking insane.
Parthenogenesis is an asexual reproduction in which a female can produce an embryo without a without fertilizing an egg. With sperm in Greek, it means virgin creation occurs naturally in some jawed vertebrates, such as the whiptail lizard, but in mammals, it is an unnatural event. So,
So it can happen to almost
interesting.
anything else except the mammal.
Well,
Sounds
it has been observed in other,
reptilian.
yeah, in other forms of life, but not in humans.
If you were to tell me that a shark
Yeah,
is
that's a
somehow related to some sort of down the line reptilian, I would believe that. I don't think that's
yeah,
where this is going. I'm just saying I would believe that.
yeah. Here
Are
it
you looking
is.
that up? Is that why I
Oh
wrote
yeah,
this
I
down?
mean, yeah, I'm on the NPR.
I think I blew Greg's mind actually.
No daddy shark in sight. Zoo greets cute shark pup after apparent parathogenesis.
Isn't that crazy?
That is nuts.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is Johnny's strange news of the day, folks, or of the week. Week.
Oh, it's a tiny shark. It's not like a full.
It
It's not like
doesn't
a.
matter, man.
No. I think it does actually scientifically.
Why?
I think it does matter,
Why does it matter?
because it means it's a simpler life form
Oh,
than
okay.
like a great
More of a
white or
complex. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's simpler. I mean, it's still pretty fucking complex, but
Yeah.
um,
You can see God up there in the heavens going, "Oh, simple, huh, Greg? That was
yeah,
simple, huh?"
yeah, that's exactly. We'll see you do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Just so you know, it's as cute as a button.
yeah, it's
So
but yeah,
I think that was cool. I thought that was cool. And so I
that is
wanted
very
to bring
cool.
you guys Strange News by Johnny and the Greg. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
How you
Well,
been, bud?
okay. Yeah.
I think you're as good
It's
as my Bears right now. How's that feel?
it's oh, football wise,
Yeah,
yeah,
how's that
that's
feel?
oof, that's rough.
Yeah.
It's I think certainly in the state of Wisconsin, we've forgotten the phrase rebuilding year. Like it's not something that's been in our vocabulary for 30 years.
Quite some time. No.
And and now that we're there and that is a rebuilding year, like even the old timers that were around when we were absolutely terrible,
Yeah.
they have since forgotten. And
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think winning for 30 years,
yeah,
like I think that would spoil anybody. That's
yeah,
literally like giving somebody for 30 years you get to eat, and now you have to go hunt for your food. And you're like, wait,
yeah,
what? Huh?
yeah. Well, did you watch that? Did you watch any of the game? I don't know.
I didn't. I just
Okay.
I actually just read a Twitter account. Look, I follow Bears Twitter, and that's the only reason I'm on Twitter. But I following Bears Twitter, and one guy says, haha, now Green Bay knows what we've been struggling with and what the rest of the NFL has been struggling with for years. And I
Yeah.
thought, oh, they must not be doing well. So I just checked in to look. And you hung with them
We did. We
last
did.
play,
I
right?
mean, it was the very last play, like,
Yeah.
and again, and even before that, there would have been the pick he threw. It was in the end zone. It was tipped. I mean, just one of those.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, that is pure. Like you trained for that. That's athleticism. I'm like, that's fucking luck, is what it is. I mean, for
What
a tip,
happened?
it was a tipped ball. Like went up for pass. Like it was very well defended. I will say that it was a
Okay.
very well defended play. Defender tipped it, and while it's still in the air, here comes one of the other defenders who didn't have a guy. They were like in some kind of zone. He wasn't one on one with anybody, which means he was free to zip over, catch the ball, and
Oh,
then
it's tip
run around
drill.
the end zone. So it was a tip drill, and
Yeah.
it's like, but even on a tip drill, that's a lot of luck.
Oh no,
And
yeah. It has to go that way.
yep, and
Yeah.
so, but that wasn't the end of the game. That would have been the touchdown pass, and then there was another possession, a 3-and-out for Pittsburgh. Actually, no, they marched on the field pretty far, but then eventually
Had
we
the
got the
punt.
ball.
Okay.
Had a couple great passes, some weird penalty stuff happening about who's going where and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. But I mean, we were definitely in field goal range,
Yeah.
but they needed a touchdown to win. And like the last pass, you could see where he was going. It was a the defender did well on the ball, but it was like, and I didn't watch the whole game. I came in at the half, pretty much like beginning of the third quarter. It's the same thing. It's like, okay, hitting people in the hands, waiting too long in the pocket, a lot of throwaway passes. It's a rebuilding year. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, if he would have seen that, or oh man, if he would have stepped this way instead of that way, or
Right.
you know, get better on the fake handoff or on the bootleg, or there was a trick play that would have really worked well where it was a handoff and then the running back that handed did a switchback pass to another guy, you know, but he hit the guy in the hands, guy dropped it. And you're like,
Okay.
guys, I mean, that's
Yeah. Yeah. Well, don't you have one of the youngest teams in the league?
I think we do. Like I haven't checked that
Especially on offense, right?
those kind of stats. I'm not checking into
Okay.
like how
Yeah.
old is our team
Well, I'm
compared to
just saying
other.
when you have the youngest team, they're bound to make mistakes.
It is a very young team, and this is it's the reason Rogers left. He didn't want to work with young players to try
Yeah.
to build them up, and
Right.
he wasn't interested in
Right.
that. And I guess I kind of get it, but
Oh, I think I get that
so
in a selfish way. I get that.
yeah. So, but that's what we're dealing with. So, is it going to be a shitty year this year? Yeah, let's just take our wins where we can get them, get a decent draft pick, I guess. But even I don't think we're out of the playoffs yet. I mean, mathematically, people are still
Mathematically, I don't believe I don't believe the Bears are. I mean, we are out of it, but mathematically,
yeah.
you're
When you're
telling me
looking
there's a
at like,
chance.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
if these guys lose this game and we lose, because
Yeah.
like the in the division, are we 2-1 or 2-0 or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know.
So I mean, the record overall looks bad, but they're still like they got a chance at the wild card. I'm like, okay. I mean, that'd be a one and done, I think, in the
Yeah,
playoffs. But
it's almost one of those situations where it's like, do you really want to go into the wild card with this team? Do you really want to?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, would it be a hell of a Cinderella story if they make it into the wild card playoff game and go all the way to the Super Bowl? Yeah, that'd be amazing. But
Well, yeah. Anytime you can pull your ass out of the ashes and go all the way to the Super Bowl, that's a hell of
yeah.
a story. But yeah.
So
But
I
anyway,
mean, there's a lot of build in my mostly untrained eye. Like I'm not trying to say that I know more about football than any other dude. I know less than most other dudes. To me, there still looks like there's building blocks there that you're like, okay, there is no like for the Packers. I don't think there is an off season. Like after this season is over, there is no off season. You're working your ass off.
oh yeah, I don't think it's how it
Doing.
used to be anymore. I think you're right, Greg. I think it is
I mean,
it's 365. It's
yeah. I mean, like take a vacation. Go nurse your
yeah.
bruises and get healthy and
Well,
do a couple
I'm
of
sorry.
weeks in
I
a
meant
truck
the
holiday.
front office and the coaches. They don't get
Oh no, they don't. But I'm talking about the players. Like
yes. Okay.
then the idea of like, well, you live in Green Bay during the season, but in the off season you're back in Alabama or Colorado or wherever
Yeah. Excuse me.
call home. To me, that would be like you can go spend a little bit of time there, but then you're going to be back in Green Bay in our training facilities, and we're going to work like
Yeah.
this. This is where you get better,
Yeah.
or something like that. I don't know how it's going to fucking work, but there's a lot there. I think there's a lot there. I'm not soured on Jordan Love at all.
I haven't
He's got
watched
work
enough
to
of
do.
him to even come up with an opinion, so I'm not going to.
I
I've been so locked into the Bears that I have no idea. I know how everybody else is doing, but I am not who's good, who's not in terms of
he makes
quarterback.
some of the same mistakes as Fields, but he makes them like where Fields hangs out in the pocket way too long. Love does too, but he's not in there as long. Does that make sense?
It does. I think if you okay, I know Jordan Love's been in the league for 3 years. This is fourth year,
I think so. Yeah.
right? Okay. He has 3 years he's been in the league, but he's almost had zero to none playing experience. So
Correct. Yeah.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt of like, you don't like you've never played like, but
Yeah.
Fields has been there for 3 years. So
Yeah.
that dude, come on.
Well,
You gotta do it
and
now.
again, for Fields, he doesn't have 3 years of experience. He's got 1 year of experience repeated 3 times, which to me is not the
No, that's
same.
not true. What
You
do you
don't
mean?
think so?
What do you mean?
Because he's making the, like you said a couple of shows ago, he's making the same mistakes that he was in year one. Like
Yes.
he's not growing and developing, which
Correct.
means
Okay.
he's got 1 year of experience that he's just multiplied by 3.
Got it. Okay. I see
So
what you're
it's
saying.
still
Okay.
year one for him.
Okay. I see what you're
He's got
saying.
to grow and develop. Where I don't know, I guess I don't know if that's going to be Love's thing. Where like if next year he's making the same mistakes and it's just a repeat of this year, then you go, okay, what's happening here? Why is he not developing? But if next year he's getting better, then you
Yeah.
go, okay, he's getting better.
Have you watched every Green Bay Packer game?
Not this year, no.
Okay.
I've watched most of them. I think I've missed.
Do you think
Like,
he's gotten better, or do you think he's the same, or do you think he's regressing? Like,
I don't think he's regressing.
okay.
And again, I'm the mistakes that I'm seeing are not his mistakes. The
Okay.
mistakes that I'm catching, and that's because I just don't watch the quarterbacks as closely as some other people.
Yeah.
The mistakes that I'm catching are one, some lineman mistakes, both offense and defense, and then like he's hitting receivers in the hands,
And they're
like
dropping.
low, and they're dropping. So
Ah,
that's I see a lot of that, and I'm
okay.
like, why aren't we catching the ball, guys? You're professional football players.
Yeah.
Like, like,
I
like
hear you.
I've seen high school kids that look like they're under the same amount of pressure with a guy up in their grill
Yeah.
and they're pulling down passes. Why aren't you?
Well, yeah, you see it in college. You see it.
Yeah.
It's funny. Good. It's the separation between the NFL. Honestly, it's
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. It's so razor thin. It really is. It's the difference between good is the difference between guys catching those balls and guys not. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
difference. And how consistently do the good teams make the plays versus the bad teams don't make the plays. And that's the only
Mm-hmm.
difference. If that, I mean, that sounds so rudimentally like, well, of course, but what I mean by that is there is that rule on every given Sunday, you could get beat by a team you have no reason, no business
Yep.
losing to. And I think Belichick said it best that more teams more teams figure out a way to lose than they actually figure out a way to win in
Mm-hmm.
this league. And I think that's what's
And
going on.
that was the Packers
And
last
I
year.
think if you have a great transcending quarterback, he can erase mistakes like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely
So
the last, I'd say 3 years in Green Bay, maybe 4. I would talk to people and the quote that was very much predominant was, yes, the Packers can beat anybody. Like whoever they go up against, they can beat them.
yeah.
But they usually find a way to lose to everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, and that, I mean, not that their record was all losses, but those big games where you're like, we should have won that. And we
Yeah.
looked like absolute crap. And it's like
Yeah.
because they could find a way to lose.
Yeah. The way the Speaking from a Bears fan, what I want right now is just us not to beat ourselves. I don't even care if we win or lose. Just don't beat
Yeah.
ourselves.
Well,
That's where I'm at as a Bear fan. I'm like, just let's go out there and try and
yeah.
we've done it 3 times. And
Mhm.
3 times we've won. And so I've just can we consistently not make mistakes?
Which, by the way, you have one more win this season than you thought you were going to have at the beginning of the season.
I did. I
You
did.
thought you'd win 2, and now you've won 3.
You know what's funny about the NFL is our friend Tosh, his team was doing horrible in the beginning, the Vikings,
Yeah.
and he texted me when they were like 1-4, and he found out that his best player was out, and he was telling me, he goes, just tank, fuck this season, forget it. And I was like,
Doing pretty good.
give it time, buddy. You still got a lot of players. You just
Yeah.
losing one player, and they've been actually doing outstanding.
They've been doing really
I
well.
think they have a really good coaching staff out there.
I'm really glad I watched the quarterback show on Netflix.
Yeah.
It helped erase some of my vitriol for
Yeah.
the Vikings, where I
Yeah,
was just like,
I feel really bad for Kirk Cousins. Like that
yeah.
that was a bad one. But anyway, it is what it is, man. It's the game.
Mhm.
All right, Greg. Let's get some polyjamory going.
Okay. Well, this week I picked a guy by the name, and I don't know if I'm saying this right. Mingo Fishtrap is his name. Let me type that in the chat for anybody of our listeners that want
Do
to
we have any
find
chat,
him.
by the way? Anybody chatting with us?
Not really, not tonight.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares today.
Kurt was on here for a little bit, but I don't know if he still is. He did say that he skipped the Packer game altogether because deer hunting up here starts next week, and he was
got to get out there.
So Mingo Fishtrap, this is a guy that I found a couple of years ago, I would say, and he's got like a real New Orleans funk kind of sound. I like him a lot. I know he's done a lot of like, I don't know if he's been on Austin City Limits, but if he hasn't, he should have been. He fits in well in that Austin music scene.
Okay.
And yeah, his number one song on here is Things Ain't What They Was.
Preach it, man.
Fast and strong, we did not have the time to find Oh, and down below the ground, we sat and watched that Virgin Mary candle burn.
I like it.
His sound is, I like it.
It's soothing.
Yeah, it's great background music if you're just working in the office. Or if you're driving and just want to jam out by yourself,
yeah,
I like this guy.
A
little bit of blues, a little bit of, he brings in some horns. I like it a lot. He's a lot of fun. And like through COVID, he was putting on a lot of like live shows, like Facebook live shows because they couldn't perform anymore.
Yeah.
And he was just really cool. Like the last album they put out was 2014. I'm pretty sure they're still around, although I think I'm going to look something up here because he was fighting some sickness
a
while. And I hope I don't just look him up and find out like he died or something like that. That'd be terrible. Okay, so they are based out of Austin.
Is this so the song you're playing right now? Is this kind of, you said the Austin scene? Is this kind of the music that's being played there?
I mean, Austin is a big music city, so you can find anything in Austin. Like, well, first time I went to Austin, we were down on 6th Street, and there was a country bar, which you figured something was country, and then it was a rockabilly bar, and then there was just like a dance club, and then there was a guy playing hard rock, and then just like singer-songwriter, like just like a dude with a guitar. And it was just really cool. I mean, it was very chill, and everything in Austin is mostly no cover because that's how they just roll down there.
Yeah.
And it was easy to just kind of walk, all open air bars. So you just walk down 6th Street. Hey, that sounds pretty cool. Let's go in there. Go in there, have a couple drinks. Let's move on to another one. And then you go down and you walk by a bar and you're like, not for me. Just keep on walking. And everybody's just really cool about it.
Sounds fun.
They are still playing. Here's a video that they posted on their Facebook page on October 29th.
If you guys want to see this, for those of you that are just listening to us in audio form on podcasts, you can find us on YouTube at Johnny and the Greg podcast.
I know it's 11:20 in the morning.
There you go. Yeah, sorry, that's start playing. But yeah, check us out on YouTube's.
Morning. Hey! But I'm here to give you fair warning. Woo! I don't want nobody getting hostile. Hold on. But we might just get a little Pentecostal. We ain't gonna brag, ain't gonna be proud. But we gonna praise the Lord, and it might get loud.
I like it, G.
Yeah.
That was good. I like it. He seems kind of like a cool guy. I didn't see he's got a mustache growing, it looks like. Either that or he dyed that baby. Because that's
it's dark.
Black.
It is a thick black stash. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thick black stash.
So that's Polyjamory for this week. Mingo Fishtrap. Go and check them out on wherever you find your music and have a good time with it.
Brought to you by Johnny and the Greg, where unusual music can be found here. Thanks to the Greg.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with something a little weird next time. I think I'm gonna dip in and
Dip
find
in.
one.
All right.
Yep, I'm gonna dip in and make because here's a story about how Johnny discovered my Polyjamory. Is
Okay.
One night we met up with our friend Aaron, who we've talked about on the show. He was like the third of our college friends, and so we're at Aaron's house, and it's just the three of us drinking and playing Wii bowling, like just
Oh yeah.
we were just doing that. And we were getting pretty lit playing Wii bowling.
Too stupid competitive with it too.
Yeah, we were. And like I CDs were still a thing, so I brought in like the CD wallet from the car.
Yeah.
And I had burned a mix of like just different stuff. And you were like, this is awesome. And it started out with like, I think the new Kanye album was on there, and then it had a little bit of hard rock, Foo Fighters kind of stuff. And then it went into like my acapella mix, and your face all of a sudden just went
Yeah, probably.
like I farted in your face. That was the look you had.
Probably.
Of just like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, what? I like what I like.
Yeah. I remember also a couple of times having to drive me somewhere, wherever. I got in your car, and and that was like you said, back in the day, you had the wallet, and not only did you have the wallet of CDs, you had the actual cases they came in, but they were like shoved in the glove compartment, or they're on the side panel, or they're in the door, right? So I'm looking through these, and I'm hitting like 9-inch nails. And I'm giving examples here. All right. This isn't what I actually found, but this is Greg. There. It would be like 9-inch nails, Flash Gordon soundtrack, Beauty and the Beast soundtrack.
Yes.
I was like, what?
Like, what are we doing here?
What's going on?
Yeah.
This is like, and some of them I was like, okay, like, look, I will tell anybody, I love the original Disney's 1990 version, Beauty and the Beast. I sing that shit all the time. Me and my daughter love that. Like, even my wife, we dig it. So when I saw that, I was like, well, I like that one. I mean, that makes sense. It's just weird that it's mixed in with like Metallica, 9-inch nails, and Smashing Pumpkins, and then all of a sudden you got Disney. But
then I throw in like ska bands that you had never heard of,
right? And then there would
like
be
the
like
acapella bands, or like other things.
Danny Elfman, Beetlejuice, just the soundtrack, and I was like, "What the like? This is
why?
This is like, why? There's so much. It's like a multiverse of stuff. I don't know what to do here."
Oh yeah, Kurt just brought up the Newsies soundtrack. I rocked that Newsies soundtrack pretty hard.
Oh, I don't remember that. I don't remember Newsies. You're lucky I didn't grab that, because just as a guy not knowing any better, I wouldn't. If I were to find you with Newsies now, I could give two shits. But if I were to find that in there, it was almost like this open invitation to make fun of you at that time.
Oh yeah, that would have been.
Yeah.
So along those same lines, when I was in college, I had a tutoring job. And it was in like one of the towns close by Whitewater is Fort Atkinson. And it was a high school kid. One of my professors kind of came to me and said, hey, my friend's son is struggling. I think you two would connect. Are you open for a tutoring position? I was like, sure. What's it pay? She's like, whatever you want to charge at this point. I'm like, yeah, I'm game.
I hate that, by the way.
Oh, you don't? I talked to her. I was like, what do we charge here? And like, she's like, because she knew, she's like, well, tutors usually cost like 70 to 80 an hour. I'm like, well, tell you what, I'm a college student. What if I charged him 40 an hour? She's like, tell you what if you charge him 30 an hour and then he'll give you 10 extra bucks for travel? Like, yeah, that works. And so,
okay.
That was, so she could justify it. She got permission from the dad that was paying me.
Yeah.
And I was driving to Fort Atkinson High School a couple times a week to go tutor this kid. But every time I remember pulling into the high school parking lot, and then I would take my CDs and like stuff them underneath.
Oh, to hide it?
Well, I remember specifically my NSYNC No Strings Attached CD. Because
yes, of course. Okay.
Justin Timberlake, I was like, well, I can't have that just laying out.
Yeah,
this high school kid who's like you know, I'm pretty sure he was a mix of like, you know, Twisted Sister,
Yeah, death metal.
a mix of like death metal, big hair rock, and like
Yeah.
Eagles. I mean,
Yeah.
that was this kid. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take my like pop CDs and shove them underneath the passenger seat. And at one point, he found one. Like he was like, "What's that?" He brings up. He's like,
That's
"What's
my
this?"
girlfriend's.
That's exactly what I did. I'm like, it's my fiance's. You know, she's probably
She's
like,
into it,
she's a
not
fan.
me. Bye,
Yeah,
bye,
yeah.
bye. When he left, did you be like, bye, bye, bye?
Yeah, yeah. I
Wait,
probably
didn't they do this? Bye, bye. Like, wasn't that in the video?
that wasn't the video. Yeah.
Yes.
But I remember like hiding
Yes.
that CD case. I'm like, I can't let him see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, the good old days. All right, Gregory, if you can, I'm gonna leave us with a thought, and then if you can take us out, and after you say after you say your tagline, if you could just let the rest of the podcast go to the rest of what was his name from Polyjamory?
Mingo Fishtrap.
Yeah, we'll just fade out and let Mingo fade us out. Here's a thought for you guys. Okay. If you get punched in the arm and it hurts, are you strong or are you weak? Take care. Greg, take us out.
Okay. Well, welcome to the holiday season. And I say the holiday season because even though Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away, deer hunting season starts here in Wisconsin, which means a lot of the men are going into the woods, a lot of the women too, but I think it's still mostly the men.
A lot of Brokeback Mountain shit going on, I'm sure.
I wasn't going to go there with it, but I was just going to say when you're out there and you see the blaze orange and, you know, someone's close to your stand and blah, 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 just don't be a douche.
There you go. For the Greg, this is Johnny saying, Mingo, take us out. Have fun, everybody. Take care. Have a good week. That's your cue, Greg.
Is it not playing?
It's not playing.
Oh, shit. Yeah, just give me a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, we're here all day.
Yeah, I know.
We'll just hang out.